Afrika tapping, tapping. Afrika tapping, tapping. Afrika tapping, tapping, tapping to the motherland. Were you taking notes?
Yeah.
Welcome to Views from Mandalay, Orina, founder of Sell Africa to Afrikans. Y'all say what up to Orina. You are in Kenya?
Yes, Nairobi, nation's capital.
Nairobi, the nation's capital. Yes. Sorry, I'm not mocking you. It's part of my autism that I repeat people back to people. So understand that that's not done just to mock you. Nairobi, the nation's capital. Well, yes, listen, Orina. First, I would love for you to tell the people about Sell Africa to Afrikans and your podcast. I did do your podcast. We had a great chat. So thank you for having me on. And I want to just get people a little acquainted with you and your voice and your point of view, et cetera, before we go into our Africa Tap-In.
Yeah, so my name is Orina. I'm a pan-africanist and I'm a founder of Sell Africa to Afrikans. It's a pan-African media platform here in Kenya. I've been doing this I've been doing this since 2022, but officially since 2023. So it's about 3 years right now. And I am actually, you know what, Amanda, I just realized that I'm one of the youngest, if not the youngest pan-Africanist publicly speaking right now at the age of 25 years old. So
really?
Yeah, one of, if not the youngest, but if not the youngest, one of the youngest Pan-Africans right now that are publicly speaking, publicly out there constantly every week.
Lead your people, yes.
So that's what I do. So Sell Africa to Afrikans is a Pan-African media platform. Mm-hmm. We are fixing to be a multimedia platform in the near future, but right now we are just a YouTube channel that is pushing Pan-Africanism right now. Kenya is a place where Pan-Africanism is pretty much low. We are very westernized. That? Well, because Amanda, we are very westernized. We are very westernized. Kenya is one of the most, if not the most westernized African country. We are
even more than South Africa.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Really?
We are really Western. I mean, if I tell you the stories of, and we're going to talk about Kenya, but Kenya is very much westernized. The oppression that we look at is from the government. We don't look at oppression beyond the government. And that's what I'm trying to tell Kenyans right now. That guys,
I'm trying to tell Americans the same thing. So we're on the same page.
Yeah. Listen, I'm trying to tell Kenyans that oppression is more than the IMF, the World Bank are controlling the Kenyan government, the European Union, the UN,
the world.
White supremacy in general. That umbrella is covering Africa, and that's what I'm trying to tell Kenyans. That's what I'm trying to tell Africans, and that's what I'm trying to tell the global African race.
Yeah. Where did you gain that awareness from? Because you said you're young, so it wasn't. I don't think it was in school. If Kenya is so Western, right?
It was in school, but
really okay. Go ahead.
So it was in school, but it wasn't it wasn't ingrained in our curriculum the way that you would expect it to be. My history teacher, Mr. Simon, when I was in my final year in high school, there was a topic in my history book called Pan-Africanism. And in that book, there were only 3 Pan-Africans that were featured there. It was the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, it was Booker T. Washington, and it was W.E.B. Du Bois. And each of those Pan-Africans had 3 or 2 pages each. And I was like, something is wrong, because you can't tell me. I mean, Amanda, at that time, I didn't know much about Garvey. I didn't know much about Booker T. I didn't know much about W.E.B. Du Bois. But I at least knew about Garvey, and I knew that Garvey's story cannot be squeezed in 3 pages. But my history teacher really took his time. I mean, he was going to the internet. He was researching additional information about Marcus Garvey. speeches of Marcus Garvey, what he did, what he really meant, and that really inspired me because he didn't have to do that. In Kenya, that topic is not examinable. So teachers just brush through it so they can go to more topics that are more important and more examinable. But he really took his time. He didn't have to do that, Amanda, but he took his time. So that really inspired me to go home and research more about Garvey. And that's how he became a Pan-African.
Speaking of go home, where are you?
I'm in Nairobi, Kenya.
No, where are you right now physically? Because I hear a lot of children.
Well, I'm in my apartment. I'm in my home. There are kids downstairs.
The kids are having a blast. They're like, got it. I hear all the surroundings. I just want to know the textures. All right. That's good. Maybe they can hear you too, because listen, it all trickles down. So get us together. What is going on the continent that we need to know about?
Well, plenty of things. Number one, where can I start, Amanda? Well, let me tell you, for people, because I'm in Kenya and because I'm a Kenyan, let me start with Kenya. Kenya is a very interesting country. Just yesterday, I was watching a documentary called The Battle of Laikipia. So Laikipia is a place in this country where white people are majority landowners. And this is because during colonial times, we really never got true independence. We signed a deal with the British that I truly believe we signed, saying that they can give us flimsy, legal, loose independence, while they can still own the important land, while they can still own the important resources, and they can still have an influence in our politics and in our economics. So in 1963,
I mean, that's just right.
So in 1963, what we did was Jomo Kenyatta, the first president, he signed a loan agreement with Britain, our former colonizer. Now,
and
remember,
what year is this again?
1963, we got independence.
Okay. Yeah. Independence.
Yeah, fake independence.
Right.
So what happened is that normally when true independence means that we take back our land. Without land, there's no independence. Land is the most important thing in life. Without land, you have nothing. You have no government because government sits on land. You have no water because water is, right. You have no electricity. Land is everything. So what happened in 1963 is that the government borrowed a loan from Britain so that we can buy the land that white people stole from us.
I mean,
can you imagine that? We borrowed a loan. So white people came in 1895. They stole our land. They stole everything. Then when we are when we are trying to find our independence, they say, no, we're not giving you your land. You'll have to buy it from us. Even though they paid nothing for that land that they stole.
Well, they love to say, well, we worked really hard. And it's like, theft is not hard work. Please stop calling stealing hard work.
Yeah, it wasn't. So basically what happened is they stole our land in 1885 all the way through 1963. Mm-hmm. Then when we were finding our independence, they said, you know what? We're not giving you your land. You buy it from us. So Kenya said, you know what? We don't have money. We are beginning. We are trying to start the nation.
Footing. Yeah.
So they said, okay, fine. We'll give you a loan to buy land from us. Then you repay the loan, with time. And that's what happened.
And the loan was taken from where? The IMF
or
the...
No, just from the British government. Well,
to be honest, the British government and the IMF and the World Bank are all run by the same people. So, you know, the Rothschilds and them. So it's all the same.
So exactly, Amanda. And since that time, even though we bought the land, in quotes, we didn't buy all of it. There's some areas that Jomo Kenyatta was told, don't touch it. That's where the minerals are. That's where, you know, the wild animals are. So we'll capitalize off of the wild animals. So there are places where we, you know,
like in the Masai Mara, and you know how they're building, you know, the Four Seasons and all this nonsense.
Exactly. So Jomo Kenyatta bought the land and he kept it all to himself, including some pieces, which is why till this day the Kenyatta government, the Kenyatta family is the largest landowner because they own almost half of Kenya. And that goes to show you the sellout that sold our country from the beginning.
So what now is the current status of Kenya? We've seen some protesting that's been going on with the students in Kenya, etc. However, then at the same time, you see the Kenyan president saying, "Yeah, we'll take over. We'll take some of your deportees," and you know, sitting behind the Oval Office desk and spinning around in a chair like a child. Where do you feel like the energy of Kenya is at present?
The energy is very bad. The politics is bad. The economics it's stable, but with Kenyan standards, it's not that good. It's not that good. The taxation is through the roof. What happened 2 years ago with Gen Z protests? Young people said, "Yo, we are done."
Right.
We're not, and it was fueled by the finance bill. It was fueled by the taxes that the IMF were putting on us through the government. See, and that's what, Amanda, I try to tell Kenyans, don't look at Ruto, don't look at the Kenyan government, look at the IMF, because these taxes, these bad economic policies that are affecting our pockets doesn't come from Ruto. It comes from the IMF, it comes from the World Bank. So,
you know, it's so great to hear you say this, because every show, well, I tried every show to do what's called the critical thinking exercise. And literally today's critical thinking exercise is who is in control. And it's literally asking folks to do additional research on who is in control, because what you're describing in Kenya is exactly what's happening in the United States, where people seem to think that it's just the government. They think that governments are operating on, you can turn the light back on. They think that governments are operating on like independent. Did the light just die?
Yeah, power is up, but it's okay. It's okay. I have my light.
So the power is out because they have like rolling blackouts?
Yeah, we have a blackout today. Yeah.
But the taxes are high.
Well, it happens sometimes. I mean, not all the time.
It shouldn't happen at all. See, this is my thing, because these types of things be happening. When I lived in LA, we're paying crazy money, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a water ration. You can't drink water." But what I was going to say was to just echo what you're saying, is that people think that the governments are operating as independent entities. They, for some reason, even when they know that there are outside forces, they'll still be like, yeah, but we're just going to address the government. And I think that's just because it's easier, right? They're in your face. You can see them. It is an actual target that you can get to, but that's by design. They're there for that purpose. They find the people that just want to be seen, and they don't care how they're seen. They find folks who are willing to be notorious to carry out the deeds of the folks that are in the back and in secret doing all of the pedophilic nonsense.
Yeah, you're right. So Kenya, that's the state of Kenya right now. We are heavily controlled by the IMF and the World Bank, which informed the Gen Z protests in 2024, which informed the government killing hundreds of people. And then also last year, there were protests and hundreds of people died as well.
Really?
This year, yeah.
So people died because the military was given free reign to just shoot to kill?
The police. Yeah, the police. So that's where we are right now. What happened the other time? Last year, late last year, there was gold, massive gold deposits that was found in Western Kenya, and the government just gave the British the contract to have control of the mining, of the extraction. Well, the government said, it was a fair deal, and but they BS us all the time. We all know that there's that the British own that gold. So that's where we are right now. Kenya is a microcosm of what's happening in majority of African countries, whereby we never got full independence, whereby a lot of the founding fathers started the problem. They didn't follow what Kwame Nkrumah did. Kwame Nkrumah was, to me, the visionary of Africa, because his whole idea was, guys, it's 1963. We are fresh off of independence. We are fresh countries. This is the time for us to unite as an African continent. Let's unite our economy. Let's unite our politics. Let's unite our social life. Let's unite everything so that we can finally be Western proof. We can be even now Eastern proof, so that we can be fully independent. Well, some African presidents were for that idea, and majority were not of that idea. Majority were of the idea that, let's first be small independent countries. Let's first run our countries independently. Then later we will be independent. Then later we will be united. We will be united as a global. As an African continent. Well, that never happened.
No,
that never happened.
Just to let y'all know, Kwame Nkrumah was the president of Ghana.
Yes, the first president of Ghana.
But even when you saw, Patrice Lumumba and Guinea-Bissau with Amilcar Cabral, like there were other folks that were aligning with Kwame Nkrumah. If you watch the documentary Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, it talks about how like Nkrumah had sent somebody from his team to come and help in the Congo. And there's always going to be the people, there seems to always be the people who are working in unison, and then the people who are trying to get, of course, their independent power, right? Like even right now, we look at Uganda, we look at Ivory Coast, we look at Cameroon, we look at Nigeria, we look at Mugabe, Rwanda, we look at Kenya. Like all of these places are led by leaders who ultimately had an option to not go along with this. Many of them have been in place since the 60s, y'all. Like they've literally been around since that time. Like they're not then you have like Bobby Wine, who is trying to do something different in Uganda, and they keep like trying to take him out. So when you see the Sahel states doing what they're doing, which is of course Niger, Mali, and Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, it's no surprise that there's going to be other folks in Kenya, other leaders in Kenya who are still operating the same way they were when Nkrumah came into power, which is to say, yeah, we don't want you to like mess up the money we're getting by being colonial cooperatives.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And so we didn't listen to Kwame Nkrumah in 1963. We continued being 54 little independent countries that cannot survive on their own. And now look where we are right now. The more years have gone by, Amanda, the more it's hard for us to unite. If we could have listened to him back in the day, it could have been easy, but now it's hard. But just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's impossible. You can see right now with Ibrahim Traore and Abdul Rahman Chiani and Assimi Goita. What's happening? It has started well, and it's fixing to be something powerful. When it succeeds, that's a microcosm of how a total African union is supposed to be. See, because because what they're doing is that
what is the uniqueness about them? I ask this every time they come up. What is the uniqueness about them, in your opinion?
Well, number one is that what happened in AES, in the Sahel states, is that first thing they did, they removed French troops. They removed
no, that's not the question I'm asking. I'm asking, what is unique about those individual men that you just named that has them operating in this, that you feel has them operating in this way, contrary to the other individuals that are neighboring them, for instance, Nigeria and Cameroon, who are actively countering what they're about?
Well, number one is because they have something that African presidents don't have: courage.
Right. Where did they get that?
Well, probably it's something that has always been in them, or probably they've been living in Burkina Faso, they've been living in Niger, they've been living in Mali, and they've realized that the old way of doing things is wrong and we need to change. Maybe it's because they've been in actually all of them are army people. They've been in the military. They've seen how they've been used badly by their puppet governments.
Systems. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's something that is just in them, and they've been like, enough is enough. That's what I can assume is the quality, courage, and one thing that I could have said first, which is the most important thing that African leaders, majority of them, don't have: love. That's it. If you love your people, you will never, ever, ever sell your people out. You'll never do that. If you love your people, you will not let Bill Gates come to Africa and basically have a field day when it comes to agriculture and medicine. Yet he is fully known of being he has professed publicly that he believes in population control as a way of combating climate change. Well, whenever you hear white people saying population control, the first thing that comes to your mind has to be Africa. They will never go to Europe. They will never go to America and do population control. The first place they do their tests is Africa.
I will say, though, that they take their tests and they do come to these places and they apply those tests to the immigrant populations and the lower income populations in those places. So, when they do these sterility programs, etc., they have inflicted them on the Puerto Rican people. They've inflicted them on Black men in literally in the army. They've inflicted them on people at the ICE detention centers, etc. So you're right. They definitely keep it out of the white folks. And instead, what they're trying to do is make it so that more white people can have babies, because that's the goal. And that's always been the goal, by the way, you guys. Like, the goal has always been, like, if there's just more of us, then we won't lose. Like, that's literally what they did in Palestine. They came in, the population was abundantly Arab, and so they just kept bringing in Jewish people so that they could try and overpower the population dynamic to say, oh, no, see, like, there's more of us. There's more of us now. And that's the effort that's been trying to happen in the world, which is also why I think certain white people are aliens. But that's another conversation for another time.
Yeah. It's a lot. And so now you talk about the AES, the Sahel Alliance. They they have done something that is amazing, because the first thing they did is to remove the French troops.
Yep.
Get the French troops off. We cannot be a sovereign state, and we have our former colonizers still setting up their army bases in our countries.
No.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And if you followed my last episode, and I'd like everybody to go to Sell Africa to Africans and go watch. I interviewed Ahmed Kabalo, African Stream founder, and we talked about our. You know, the British still have their army bases here in Kenya. The problem is that there was a brutal murder case, a famous murder case that happened here in Kenya of a young Kenyan mother who was killed by a British soldier and was dumped in a septic tank. That was around the training, the British Army training unit.
Mm-hmm.
She was found, and I mean, the killer is just wallowing in Britain. Well, he was arrested, but he hasn't been extradited yet.
But in order for him to get arrested, people had to really make noise about it. They weren't trying to arrest him.
Oh yeah, of course. The noise was too much. They had to arrest him. But the extradition was issued by the Kenyan government late last year. We'll see. We'll see if he'll be extradited back to Kenya. But my guess is nah, trust me. My guess
he's
is that
in England right now.
Yes, he's in England. It's called Robert Parkis. Robert Parkis is the killer of Agnes Wanjiru that has been charged. Actually, he has been charged of that murder. Yeah, and you know what's funny is that they were laughing about it in their Facebook group.
Of course.
I mean, they were making fun of the. I mean, they're making fun of the event. It just goes to show you the arrogance, the barbaricness of white supremacy. White supremacy extends its ugly fingers even here in Africa, and that's what I want African Americans who are watching us right now. It is white supremacy, which is the father and the mother of white privilege. It's very much alive and well here in Kenya. These British soldiers just do whatever they want. Even their training regiments are so dangerous. The landmines are just there. I mean, if you live around Nanyuki, which is where the training unit is, you need to be very careful because it's crazy. It's crazy. So that's where we are right now. We are a colonized country. People call it neo-colonialism. There's nothing about it. It's just colonialism.
It's just colonialism. It never stopped.
Yeah.
I donate to an organization that sends Kenyan children to secondary school. So there's about I think when I started there were 28 students. I think at this point some of them have graduated, so there's less. It's like 20. But you know, one of the things that we talk about is the curriculum in Kenya, and I've seen a lot of not a lot, but I've seen some African voices speaking about this as well. Just the necessity to change the curriculum in Kenya because it is still a colonialist curriculum that the children are kind of being reared up in. And I wanted to get your thoughts on, do you agree that it's also a curriculum that essentially teaches you not to ask questions?
Mm-hmm. Of course. Our curriculum is British based. And it has never changed. It has never changed. We are trained. It's not even. We are trained to not ask questions. We are trained to. We are trained to not learn, and not to grasp information, and not to internalize and to apply the information that we get from books. But we are taught to cram answers. We are taught to just regurgitate and memorize. That's the word I'm looking for. To memorize what's written in books. That's why you find you find that young people have the skills. And to me, if you ask me,
I'm asking you.
we need to have trade skills taught in schools.
I don't
We
even
have
think it should be called trade, to be quite honest, because what I think happens far too often is this dissemination between this delineation between like skills with your hands and skills with your mind, when the reality is that different people have different talents that apply themselves in different ways. You know what I mean? When I see Rolando come and install the pump that they put in the new bathroom that I had gotten when I first moved here, I was like, this is genius work. Like, I mean, they were so casual about just creating something from nothing. And the same way that some people might look at me and be like, well, what are you doing? And it's like, well, when you're able to just write a book from nothing and you're able to then make the music that goes with the book, et cetera, then you'll tell me about what I'm not doing. The same way, though, that I can look at someone who is farming and people might look down on them and be like, oh my gosh, like, why are they farming? What are we, slaves again? Mind you, I don't know how they grew that. How did they grow that? Like, that's a skill. So I don't even feel like it has to be, because I know that what you're saying is like, we need to put that in schools because they keep looking down on it and they take it out of schools. And now people cannot fish for themselves. They can't make things. They can't exist without needing to lean on the resources of something of a government that doesn't even care about them.
I agree. So our education is very much westernized. Our education is very much British based. Uh, we are taught less about our heroes, and there's a in the same book, in the same history book in my final year, there is a whole chapter about what white people invented. Isaac Newton, uh, the
Right,
Wright
the
brothers,
phone, the Edison with the light bulb, and
and it's in the same book, Amanda, that has 2 pages of Garvey and 2 pages of
right.
Booker T and 2 pages of Du Bois. And I mean, it's so westernized. It's so westernized. Oh, and mind you, even the way, you know, elementary, which we call primary, you guys call it elementary, is structured. High school is structured. University is, and even in our universities, back in the day, let me tell you, back in the day, and my parents tell me, and people from that era tell me that university in Kenya was cheap, if not free. Food was abundant and it was cheap. And until the IMF came in and told our government, you know what, food shouldn't be free. You know what, education doesn't have to be cheap or free. Charge these people,
Yeah.
charge them for food, charge them for school fees, charge them for, and that's why I keep on telling you, the IMF runs Africa. The IMF runs our education. The IMF runs our banking. The IMF runs our economic
Orina, the
policy.
IMF runs the world.
Government.
The
The IMF
International
runs.
Monetary Fund runs the world in partnership with the Vatican. It is the second phase of the Roman Empire, which is the Vatican. It is comprised of individuals who believe in the occult and sadism. And so when you say these men have love, it's not just some flowers and sparkles type thing that you're talking about. We live in a world, we live on an earth that has had a world built on it by people who don't have love. And I'm not saying that, y'all, as like some woo-woo shit. I'm saying that the people who are in charge are literally sadists who get joy from harm and pain. They gain strength from blood that has been infused with the adrenaline that comes from harm and pain. So when we see these people doing harmful things, like, and we say there's a phrase that always happens on the US side of the internet where they say, It's the cruelty is the point. Like sometimes we get these phrases said, Orina, and people think of them like it's just like some catchy phrase. No, that's literal. The cruelty is the point. They don't just get money from harming Africans. They get joy. They literally get joy. These people get joy. And I don't know where they came from, Orina. I don't know. I don't know where they came from. I don't know what cave. I don't know if this is some Neanderthal strain. I don't know if they were beamed down and sent here to come and disrupt, but I don't have, and you tell me, I don't know of any history that has been recorded of civilizations on the continent who have enacted terror in the way that we have witnessed the terrorism of the white people that run the IMF and the World Bank and that carried forth the Spanish Inquisition and the Salem witch trials, etc. I've never seen it. Japan, that's another question. Japan got its own thing going on. Over there in Japan, y'all, that's a whole other conversation. Japan, Orina, I don't know if you've done any research on Japan, but Japan is rivaling the white folks on the sideways behavior. But I've never seen on the continent, in the study of Timbuktu, in the study of the Malian Empire and Mansa Musa, in the studies of the ancient Egyptians in Mesopotamia, I ain't never heard of the kind of bereft of morality that I have witnessed and that I have learned about from these people. Have you?
No, I actually, I ask myself every day, where do they come from? I mean, the sadistic way that they do things makes me wonder what is wrong with them. You already have world power. You have everything that you want. You have even more than what you need. What more do you want? You're coming to Nigeria now and you're cosplaying as if you're coming to bring peace, but there's nothing you're coming to bring. You're coming there for resources. You're Kenya now. I mean, Rwanda, the Congo, the white supremacy is involved there with the coltan, with the cobalt, with the copper mines. Yep. And China, by the way, China is also there. In fact, that is why the US came in recently, in the way of peace deal, because they've realized that China has had a head start in terms of owning the cobalt and the copper and the coltan mines. And they've realized that, wow, China is really overtaking us in terms of Congo influence. So we need to overtake China. And that's why they're coming there, disguising themselves as, oh, we are coming there to bring peace. But, nobody gives a shit about Africans. They're coming there to overtake China's influence in terms of the coltan, the cobalt, and the copper mines. So you look at white supremacy, and you're speaking about Africans. When I speak of Africans, when I say the name Africans, I not only mean Africans in the continent, I mean Africans in the diaspora as well, which includes you, Amanda, which includes the whole of Black America, which includes the whole of Black people in Europe, which includes the whole of Black South America.
You're missing a whole region.
Yeah, which includes the whole Black people in Asia, which includes the Black people all over the world.
You gotta say the Caribbean. The Caribbean.
And the Caribbean. I know you're from Grenada. I know you're from Grenada. I know you're from Grenada. I know, and I love the Caribbean. Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey is
Have you been to the Caribbean?
No, I've never. And to me, the first place I would like to land in the Caribbean is Jamaica, because of Marcus Garvey and because of what he means to me and to what I stand for right now. So to me,
shot up. Jamaica, you land in the wrong place in Jamaica. Be careful.
Those are my people,
you have the type of energy where wherever you land, they'll be like, come.
By the way, Jamaicans have a soft spot for Kenyans, and Kenyans have a soft spot for Jamaicans. You know why? if you come to Kenya and you go to the commercial buses, you go to the clubs, you go to even people playing music off of their apartment. We love reggae. I don't think there's an African country that loves reggae like Kenya, and I mean, I don't know if it's coincidental because I love reggae. Reggae is my number one genre. So Jamaica holds a very special. Jamaica has a soft spot in my heart. So I mean, I think they'll receive me with open arms because Kenyans and Jamaicans have a special connection. Yeah.
Kenyans and Jamaicans have a special connection, y'all. I didn't even realize it was like a known thing, but it's true.
Kenyans. I think Kenya is the reggae capital of Africa. I'm telling you, Kenyans love the hell out of reggae.
You know what Kenyans also love? Country music. What's that about?
Yeah. Kenyans love Kenny Rogers. Kenyans love Dolly Parton. So yeah, not me though. Not me.
Not me though. So can you tell us, is there anything else going on the continent that you feel like we need to be aware of? Because here in the US, we don't be hearing about nothing.
Well, people need to pay close attention to what's happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. People need to spread the word that there is at least hope in Africa. Back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean just a few years ago, before Traore, before Chiani, before Goita, before the AES, let me tell you, there was absolutely no hope. There was only there was only one president that I really liked, and it was from Tanzania, called Magufuli, who I believe was murdered. And then they said it was COVID, but that's a whole other story. But apart from him, I couldn't see a single African president that was standing up for us, that was pushing pan-Africanism, that was actually leading from the front. Well, Traore came in, Chiani and Goita came in like boom, and we were like, okay, so there's hope, there's hope, so there's hope, Amanda. And a lot of African youth is looking up to those three people, especially Traore. And when they tried to, when they tried to overthrow him / kill him, when that black general was in charge of Africom, which is African Command.
Yeah. What's his name? Langley, I think his name was.
Langley. By the way, I believe he was fired because he didn't finish the job. He didn't succeed in the job. So now they've put a white boy in charge of Africom, and this guy, I think Trump was like, you know what? No more black people. No. Let's just put a white boy who has no ties to Africa whatsoever. So let's just, and I think that's what Trump is trying to do in Nigeria. There's no such thing as him trying to bring peace and protect Christians and using Nicki Minaj to do it. There's nothing like that. What he's trying to do is that he's trying to gain access to Niger. By gaining access to Niger, he'll weaken the AES, and ultimately he'll have access to Burkina Faso and Mali. This has nothing.
I want to always make sure that when we talk about these things, that we don't let ourselves give people. So okay, we sat here and we have talked about the IMF and we've talked about the World Bank, right? And they're running the show. But then we say Trump is trying to do XYZ. And I can tell you, Trump probably has a catheter. Like he probably can't even pee on his own at present, let alone consider a militarized strategy. And so I want to always remind us to be prescient about what, to be prescient, which is knowing the larger story of things and using language that reflects that and not giving people, I don't want to say not giving people power they don't deserve. More so what I want to remind us, though, is that we have a fight bigger than Trump. And so what I get concerned, Orina, when I find us saying, well, Trump is doing XYZ, because Trump is not doing anything. He is a puppet, right? He is a puppet. And so I think it's very important that we particularly because I consider you an educator, particularly as educators, to be conscious. We have to be conscious. I'm saying this to myself as well, about using language that properly frames the fight. Because I can tell you the same way that this conversation started was, Kenyans are only fighting their government. The same way in the United States, people think that if Trump dies tomorrow, that somehow things are going to be different. And it's completely a delusional concept to think that way, because they'll actually get even worse, because now you'll have someone even more capable of carrying out the tyranny of these people in the background who literally just want to kill the earth. That's what they really want to do. They just want to kill the earth. So I just want to bring that to the attention of things, because these guys in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, they're up against a fight that is bigger than just the United States. And I think when we talk about Nkrumah, and we talk about Sankara, which was a different time frame, but still Sankara, and we talk about even Walter Rodney in Guyana, and Amilcar Cabral in Guinea-Bissau, and Lumumba, I don't think they fully grasped what they were up against. Because it's the colonizer that's right in front of you. And so you're like, we just got to deal with these people, not realizing the colonizer even themselves is answering to somebody. And how do we strategize on such a large level? And I believe we can do it.
We can do it. The first thing we need to do is that we just need to unite as a global African race. Forget about these crazy foundational Black Americans telling you that you're not Africa, or they're calling us tethers now. And
oh my God, they're tethers. I'm like, anyone calling me a tether, you're FBI. That's what I tell them. They're like, I'm FBA, you FBI. You FBI.
Oh,
you're literally actively working to separate Black people's unity. You're FBI. Get out of here.
Trust me, I had Professor James Small on my show, and he just went crazy on them, and they couldn't take it. They couldn't take it. So look, forget about this FBA nonsense. And also here in Africa, we have tribalists who believe that you guys in America are not part of us. So it's both. I mean, it's both sides. Both sides have divisive people who don't want to accept each other. Forget about this nonsense. We are all Africans, whether you like it or not. We are Africans. We are Afrikans. Look, I always ask these FBA people one question. Fine, you want to be a distinct group and you want to be independent.
Yes.
Fine. Well, let me ask you a question then. Has white supremacy, white supremacy is a global institution.
Yes.
How can you defeat a global institution on your own as FBA people? White supremacy is conjoined. White supremacy in America is conjoined with the Vatican, is conjoined with the IMF, with the European Union, with the whole UN, with the whole World Bank. And you are there as FBA is thinking that you'll defeat white supremacy alone. It's either you're dumb or ignorant or both at the same time.
Or your goal isn't to defeat white supremacy at all.
Exactly. Or your goal is just to remain and to survive and to thrive in white supremacy, which is impossible.
But we have some questions for you. We have some questions for you. All right. Mr. Orina, can you connect the recent violence against Black migrants in Morocco to a broader pattern of anti-Black racism and exploitation from the Middle East toward Africa?
Boy, we need another now. And trust me, we need another podcast to, I'm telling you. Well, let me tell you, when it comes to Arabs,
I mean, we just saw Morocco boo the coach from Senegal who beat them. I mean, that was so ridiculous.
Let me tell you something about Arabs here in Africa and in the Middle East and how they affect Africa. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Dubai. What's happening right now in Kenya? There are these phony agencies that are owned by Kenyan politicians and some Kenyan rich people that are, there's unemployment here in Kenya. There's a lot of unemployment. Like a lot of youth are unemployed. So because they can't find jobs here, what do? They go seek jobs in the Middle East. What's happening is that these agencies con them. They just rip them off. So when they get to Saudi Arabia, maybe let's say I'm a woman and I signed up for a secretary job in an office.
Yep.
Turns out that I get there and I'm assigned to be a housemaid.
Yep.
Somewhere. A nanny. Just doing household and just doing manual jobs. You try to contact the agencies, boop, they're gone. So you're stuck there. So you have to basically just be there and to do that job and to survive there.
Yes.
Amanda, let me tell you something. There was a year that hundreds of Kenyans were reported dead in Saudi Arabia. Why? The Saudi Arabian employers were raping the women. They were killing the women. Some bodies haven't been found till this day. And there are many Kenyan families that are still urging the Kenyan government to put pressure on the Saudi Arabian government to finally bring the remains of their loved ones home. What's happening is impunity. Arabs don't respect their women. So if they don't respect their Arabian women, what do you think? Well, I'm telling you, in some of these countries, they don't even allow their women to drive.
I think that there's okay. I think it's fair to say that there are Arabs who don't, but I do think it's important to, you know what? Maybe what I'm doing is I'm conflating. My bad. Keep going.
So, like from what they wear, some of these countries don't allow Arabian women to drive and to hold certain jobs and everything. And so I always tell Kenyans that if they don't even respect their own women 100%, what do you think they will do to African women?
This is what I was trying to say. So the system does not respect women. And I think that's where when we bifurcate it or trifurcate it, etc., and we say like Arabs don't respect women or Africans don't respect women, etc., what we're missing is that there is a globalized system that utilizes women as slaves in many different forms. And it's essentially whoever aligns themselves with that system that it ends up being displayed in how their women are treated, right? Because we'll see nations that are Arab nations that have shifted in how they treat women depending on who's in power, right? They never changed being Arab, but they changed in who they were and who was in power and who was placed in power.
True. But some haven't. And you find that, like, for example, I remember there was a video of a Kenyan woman working as a housemaid in an Arabian household somewhere in Saudi Arabia. And she was, I think she was punished. And part of that punishment was breastfeeding the puppies I'm telling you, of the Arabian employer. And she was crying. That video went viral here in Kenya. I was like, what the hell is going on there? You'll hear horror stories. Women are being beaten, they are being raped. Some of them end up dead. There are many women who have ended up dead. So this is a problem of two people. Number one, the Arabian government, because they basically don't care about the legal, because they're legal. The legal African migrants who go there to work and to earn a living. Number two, this is the problem of the Kenyan government, because they don't even care about their Kenyan citizens to even provide jobs. Provide jobs for your people here in Kenya so that they don't have to go to Saudi Arabia to be slaves and to earn a slave wage. If you look at their payslip, you'll even wonder, why are you there? But they're like, you know what? I can't find a job in Kenya, so I have to go to Saudi Arabia I have to go to Qatar. And Qatar, the last World Cup was in Qatar, and those stadiums were heavily built by immigrants, especially African immigrants. And I mean, Kenyans were there, many of them, and a lot of them died because of the poor working conditions that are there, the heat. I mean, some of them were falling down from the top, boom, dead. I mean, like, nobody respects an African. Nobody respects. When I say African, I mean the global black race. Nobody respects us. Nobody cares about us. We are on our own. We are on our own. And the sooner we understand that, the better. Let's stop fighting. Let's stop debating who's African and who's not. Let's stop debating who's blacker than who's
nonsense.
Let's stop all this nonsense. Let's stop debating who got to America first, or fine.
Thank you. Know, please. Listen, you're an old soul, Orina. You're an old soul. Saida is an organizer who's been very involved in the movements here in the U.S. And she asked, as a pan-Africanist, can you suggest any books?
I'm reading a book called The ISIS Papers, but by Dr. Francis Cress
Welsing.
Rest in peace. That Queen Mother was something else. Wow.
ISIS Papers mess you up. It opens you up. I mean, I commend you. I've had the ISIS Papers since I was 25, and I really honestly was like, I'm not ready to read this. If I read this now, it will change the course of, like, I was like, I can't read this now because there's a certain level of ignorance that I need to like possess in order to continue to live. And now at my age, I'm ready. I literally put a book cover on it because I was like, if people see me reading this on the train, it's going to start problems.
So ISIS Papers, number one. Number two, the Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. I would say
How Europe under have you read that one by Walter Rodney? How Europe underdeveloped Africa?
Not yet. I haven't read your book, but based on the cover, the Harriet Tubman, what were the answers? You must read that book, and I think I'll make it a mission to read your book, Amanda. So those are the three books.
My book is a quick read. You know, I mean, I really would love to be able to come out to Kenya and do some book talks, and you know, try to figure out that, like, I mean, and it doesn't even have to be in any big fancy places. Like, I just want to be able to come and, you know, speak to people outside of the US. So, you know, something to think about, Orina.
Yeah. So there are many. I
mean, I'll pay my way there and everything. I literally just want to come and speak to the people.
Come home. This is your home. This is your home, Amanda.
I've been to Togo, I've been to Ghana, I've been to Kenya, and all three times, you know, when you land, y'all, you're like, like, Jumbo. I mean, when I was in 5th grade, Orina, we had to do reports on different countries, and I did a report on Kenya, but I did a video. And I still have the video to this day. I need to post it. Jumbo. That means hello in Kenya's native language of Swahili. They also speak Kikuyu, Tahamel. Yeah. So it's a classic. Well, we appreciate you. And folks want to know, aside from your YouTube channel, this is like basically the same question. So where can folks follow you? It is, hold on, I have it right here. Oh my gosh, I literally wrote this and now I can't find it. Sell Africa to Africans. So how often is your podcast? Any specific episodes that you feel like people should like make sure to listen to?
Yeah. So just go to YouTube and type Sell Africa to Africans. I post every week. I post 3 to 4 times a week. I have guests every week. the most important conversation I'd like people to. There's many. I've had Dr. Kaba Kamene. I've had Professor James Small. I've had you, Amanda. I've had uh, I've had Professor Pielo Lumumba. I mean, I've had Elder Maponga. I've had a lot of Pan-African thought leaders, but the most important one I'd like people to go is to just type Professor James Small
Okay.
and go watch that episode. That's the episode that these FBAs went crazy on me because they couldn't take the bomb that
Truth.
Professor James Small. Oh man, James Small went crazy on them. I was just sitting down and I was just listening. I was like, go on, go on, go on, Prof.
Go on, Prof. Well, you keep going, Orina. I'm so glad to have you for the Africa Tap-In. We do this every month with different folks who are on the continent doing the work and spreading the word. And, you know, as a Pan-Africanist, I feel like it is very imperative that we continue to be in contact with each other, learning from each other, sharing with each other, and identifying the uniqueness of our experiences while also connecting the sameness. Because as we just pointed out throughout this entire interview, there's so many things that are aligned because at the end of the day, it's the same folks in charge, y'all. It's the same folks in charge. And so the oppression ends up showing up in the same ways. You know, they say history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Yeah, just can I give my last word before we go?
Please. Yes.
Amanda, before I give my last word, I just want to give you your flowers. Let me tell you, like when I tell you I'm a fan, I told you in my show that I've been following you for a while, and it's true. But not because of your artistic work, not because of your work in entertainment, but because of how you've been standing firm for Black people. No, not many people do that in the entertainment sector, and I'm starting to get pissed off. I'm starting to, you know what? I'm starting to actually. I'm not listening to Nikki anymore, and yeah, she's. By the way, I used to be a Nikki fan. She's out of my playlist. She's out of my everything. Yeah, and any other Black person who is a sellout or who is deterring us from from Black greatness, I'm detoxing. I'm detoxing from them. Because and I would urge Black people to do so. I would urge Black people to do the same thing. Please do the same thing because celebrities can't benefit from our money and our support and our streams and everything, and all they do is to sell out. So they need
and spell celebrity without sell.
they need to know that the Black community is serious in this struggle, and if they're using their art, they need to use their art to benefit Black people. If not, we have no reason to listen or to watch them. So my last word is Black power is powerful more in Africa than it is outside of Africa. Build Black power here in Africa. It's more sustainable, it's more long lasting, it's more welcoming here.
You see how they froze him up? They said, nah, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. They froze him right up. They froze Orina right up. God dang.